The royal family of Atlanta is on fire again, and this time, the flames are personal. King Harris, the self-crowned heir of chaos, just dropped a DNA confession that has fans gasping, bloggers foaming, and T.I. sitting in silence like he just read his own plot twist. Yep, the son of the rubber band man himself went live and said the words nobody ever thought they'd hear. "I don't even know if T.I.'s my real dad." That one sentence sent the internet into cardiac arrest. Within minutes, Twitter looked like a courtroom, Instagram turned into Maury, and YouTube became a crime scene. Fans are screaming for answers, haters are stirring the pot, and the Harris empire is crumbling faster than a bad PR apology. And the worst part? T.I. Mr. Expeditiously, Mr. Family Hustle, hasn't said a single word. No post, no denial. No quote. Just silence. And in celebrity land, silence screams louder than any diss track. So what triggered this meltdown? Is King exposing a family secret? Is T.I. hiding something? Or is this just another viral explosion from hip-hop's most unpredictable son? Grab your tea, because this story makes the Kardashians look like background characters on Sesame Street. It all began with one Instagram Live that nobody was ready for. King Harris, usually the loudest voice in any room, went online late at night, face serious, tone sharp, and energy completely different. This wasn't the usual King rant about haters, fame, or being misunderstood. Nah, this was deeper, darker, like something heavy had been sitting on his chest for years. And tonight, he decided to drop it like a bomb in front of thousands of fans. "Y'all keep saying I'm T.I.'s son," he said, pacing. "Stop saying that. He ain't my dad." Boom. The words hung in the air like a gunshot at a church service. Within seconds, the live chat exploded. Heart emojis turned into what? Comments. People thought it was a joke. King trolling for attention again? But this time, there was no smirk, no laugh, no punchline. Just that look. Tired eyes, tight jaw, voice shaking somewhere between anger and pain. And just like that, the royal family of Atlanta's hip-hop scene, the Harris Empire, was thrown into total chaos. The internet didn't wait for confirmation. Within minutes, that clip was everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Reddit. Every platform became a crime scene. Screenshots were spreading faster than wildfire in a dry Georgia summer. Hashtags appeared out of thin air. King Harris DNA, nor T.I. ain't my dad, nor family hustle no more. The memes were instant. One showed T.I. on Maury, captioned, "You are not the father." Another had King's face on a BMF poster with the tagline, "Born in the wrong family." But beneath the laughter, people were whispering, what if he wasn't lying? You see, the Harris family isn't just any celebrity clan. They're Atlanta royalty. T.I., the self-proclaimed king of the South, built his empire on family, hustle, and loyalty. Tiny, his wife, the ride-or-die queen with a voice that shaped R&B's golden era. And King, their wild card. The one who grew up on camera, living between fame and frustration, between legacy and rebellion. So when he, the heir to the family hustle, suddenly disowned the man who made him famous, it wasn't just drama. It was a cultural earthquake. Blogs exploded overnight. The Shade Room reposted the video with the caption, "Wait, King said what?" Hollywood Unlocked called it the DNA bomb no one saw coming. XXL called it the most shocking confession in hip-hop family history. And fans? They were eating it up like it was Thanksgiving dinner. Some said he was clout chasing. Others said he was crying out for help. But a growing number of fans swore there had been signs all along. People started digging up old T.I. and Tiny, the family hustle clips, like investigators on a cold case. They pointed out episodes where King seemed distant, argumentative, or flat-out rebellious. "Look how he never listens," one commenter wrote. "That's not a son, that's a stranger living in the same house." Another fan stitched together a compilation called "The Clues Were Always There." Clips of King rolling his eyes while T.I. lectured him, storming off, muttering under his breath. In less than 24 hours, that fan-made video hit 1 million views. But this wasn't just gossip. This was the Harris brand falling apart in real time because T.I. didn't respond. At all. No tweet. No post, no comment. Not even a quote in his usual expeditiously vocabulary. And that silence, it made everything worse. In today's world, silence isn't peace, it's proof. At least, that's what the internet thinks. People began spinning theories like they were auditioning for CSI Atlanta. T.I. knows. That's why he's quiet. Tiny's hiding something. King found out a family secret and finally snapped. Everyone had a theory. Nobody had facts. But who needs facts when you've got Wi-Fi and imagination? Then Tiny posted a cryptic story on Instagram. Some things don't even deserve a response. God sees all. That one line set the internet ablaze again. Half the comments said it was a mother defending her son. The other half said it sounded like guilt disguised as scripture. Meanwhile, King doubled down. When fans filled his comments with "you trippin'," "apologize to your pops," and "you look just like him," he fired back with another post. "Stop speaking on what you don't know. Blood don't always make you family." And there it was. The line that turned a viral moment into a movement. Because now, this wasn't about DNA. It was about betrayal. That single sentence hit a nerve across generations. People who'd grown up in broken homes or had complicated parents started defending him. "He's speaking facts," one user wrote. "Y'all act like being famous makes him blind to pain." The rest of the internet, though, wasn't buying it. They started calling him King of Cap, saying he was desperate for relevance after his recent controversies. One podcast host joked, "King probably just mad Tip didn't repost his mixtape." But behind the humor, something darker was brewing. A source close to the Harris family allegedly told a gossip site that King had been acting distant for weeks. "He's been quiet around the house, real moody," the insider said. "We thought it was just stress. We didn't know he was going to go live and say that." According to that same source, the family was blindsided. T.I. found out about the video like everyone else, through social media. Apparently he saw it, went silent, and refused to comment even to his own circle. "He's hurt," the source said. "That man loves that boy, but this cut deep." And that's when Shekinah Joe, Tiny's loud and lovable best friend, entered the chat. Literally, during her own Instagram live, Shekinah broke down crying, saying, "People don't know what that child been through. He hurting, and the internet making fun of him." Boom! Explosion! Because in the court of public opinion, Shekinah's tears were all the confirmation people needed. Blogs ran headlines like, "Family Insider confirms King's claim comes from real pain." Even though she never mentioned T.I. by name, the damage was already done. For the first time in years, fans weren't just watching T.I.'s son rebel, they were watching him unravel. The internet was split right down the middle. Some said King was exposing a buried secret. Others said he was spiraling under the pressure of fame. But everyone agreed on one thing. This wasn't just entertainment anymore. This was personal. By the end of that night, the video had surpassed 5 million views. The comment sections were chaos. Part therapy session, part conspiracy forum. The Harris family name, once synonymous with hustle, legacy, and respect, had turned into a headline-feeding frenzy. And through it all, T.I. stayed silent. No interviews. No responses. Just that eerie, strategic quiet. The kind that feels less like peace and more like preparation. Because if there's one thing T.I. knows how to do, it's control a narrative. But this time, it wasn't just a PR issue, it was his son. His name, his bloodline. And if King's confession was true, the entire Harris legacy was about to get rewritten forever. By the next morning, chaos had turned into carnage. That one live from King Harris had mutated into the biggest celebrity scandal of the year. Twitter wasn't just trending, it was melting. Blogs were dropping hourly updates. Podcasts were live streaming their reactions like it was election night. And even the barbershops of Atlanta were debating whether King's confession was cap or a coded cry for help. T.I., however, stayed silent, which only made everything worse. When a man known for narrating every life moment with dictionary-level vocabulary suddenly goes ghost, the internet assumes guilt. One user tweeted, "T.I. out here studying new words to respond with like, the allegations are unequivocally fallacious in nature." Another wrote, "Mebsos inworiert. If Tip don't say nothing by Friday, we calling Maury ourselves." The memes were relentless. TikTokers edited clips from Family Hustle into fake Maury episodes. Twitter users posted side-by-side comparisons of King's face next to everyone from Ludacris to Lil Scrappy with captions like, "Who he really look like though?" One particularly viral meme said, "Plot twist. The real dad been in the background of every music video since 2004. But underneath the laughter, the energy was shifting. Because this wasn't just another family spat, it was a generational implosion. Fans who grew up watching T.I. play the perfect father on TV were now questioning whether it had all been one big performance. "This ain't no family hustle," one fan commented. The family bustle. And then came the ripple effect. Radio hosts in Atlanta were dissecting it like an active court case. Charlemagne called it the messiest father-son moment since 50 Cent and Marquise. Jason Lee called it karma for all the times T.I. lectured other rappers on parenting. And DJ Academics, he went nuclear. On Twitch, Ake said, "I've been telling y'all King wanna be a street dude, but now he on Maury energy. That boy need therapy, not followers." Clips of his rant went viral instantly, adding more fuel to an already raging fire. Meanwhile, blogs were publishing exclusive insider sources like it was a buffet of speculation. One claimed King found out about a hidden DNA test that had been kept quiet for years. Another said he overheard a family argument that changed everything. Nobody could prove anything, but nobody cared. In 2025, truth doesn't need receipts. It just needs engagement. T.I.'s silence turned into a storyline of its own. Fans began dissecting his every move. When he posted an old photo promoting his restaurant, people flooded the comments. "Sir, we want paternity statements, not plates." When Tiny posted a prayer quote, someone replied, "You praying for clarity or custody?" And then Shekinah Joe, Tiny's best friend and part-time chaos generator, went live again, through tears. She said, "People always think they know everything, but they don't know what goes on behind closed doors." That child been dealing with something for years. The live stream lasted less than 10 minutes, but it was enough. The internet ran with it like she dropped the 10 commandments of gossip. The Shade Room reposted it under the headline, "Shekinah Speaks Out, Confirms Pain in Harris Household." Suddenly, every influencer was a body language expert. They analyzed clips of King's facial expressions, claiming his eyes showed truth. TikTok detectives used slow-motion edits, zooming in on his tears like forensic analysts. "That's not acting," one user said. "That's trauma," but others weren't convinced. Some argued that King was just spiraling, that this was another stunt to get his music noticed. One YouTuber even called it a rollout disguised as a revelation. Then, in the middle of all this noise, something strange happened. A photo resurfaced, a blurry, old-school shot of Tiny with a man who wasn't T.I. but looked suspiciously like King. The photo was allegedly from the early 2000s. The caption said, "This the real one y'all been asking about?" That image broke the internet in half. Within hours, gossip blogs flooded with headlines like "Tiny's old flame sparks paternity questions" and "Mystery man from Tiny's past looks too familiar." Fans turned into digital detectives overnight. They found out the man was a producer who used to work with Xscape back in the day. His Instagram? Instantly bombarded with comments, "You the real daddy or what?" The poor guy had to go live himself, denying everything. "Man, y'all trippin'. I ain't got nothing to do with that." But by that point, it didn't matter. The internet had already decided he was mystery dad, and through all this madness, T.I. remained silent. Some said he was strategizing, others said he was furious. But the public, they saw weakness. For a man who's always been the loudest in the room, this new quiet made him look guilty. Or worse, broken. Even industry insiders started chiming in. One anonymous Atlanta DJ told a podcast, "Tips hurt, man." He feels betrayed. But he also knows if he goes off, it'll look bad. So he stuck. Meanwhile, King's confidence was growing. He didn't post new rants, but he liked comments that said, "Speak your truth and DNA don't define love." That subtle activity alone reignited the entire scandal. People said, "See? He's standing on it." By midweek, the entire Harris empire looked like it was collapsing. The family brand, built on shows, endorsements, and a carefully curated image of unity, had turned into a meme factory. Even Wingstop's official account joked, "Our lemon pepper got more DNA than these headlines." Every minute that passed without a statement made the speculation grow. Some claimed lawyers were involved. Others whispered that Family Hustle reruns were quietly being pulled from certain platforms. Whether that was true or not, the narrative had already escaped T.I.'s control. Then came the most unexpected twist. 50 Cent entered the chat. The man can't resist drama, especially when it involves another rapper dad. He posted a meme of T.I. with Maury's face photoshopped on him, captioned, "Ain't no hustle in this family now." The internet went wild. Fans were tagging T.I. non-stop, begging him to clap back. "Say something, Tip! Don't let 50 do you like this." But nope. T.I. stayed silent. Instead, he posted a cryptic black and white photo of himself in the studio, staring into space, with the caption, "Real men handle real pain in private." That single sentence spawned more theories than a Netflix documentary. He confirming it? He denying it? He deflecting it? Nobody could agree. But everyone was talking, and that's when the story went from scandal to saga. Because once a story hits the emotional nerve of the internet, fatherhood, truth, betrayal, it stops being gossip and becomes collective obsession. Every fan, every hater, every ex-rapper with a podcast wanted to weigh in. It wasn't about what was true anymore. It was about who could spin it better. The result? The biggest paternity scandal in hip-hop history, fueled by emotion, silence, and one explosive confession from a son who may have just shaken his father's throne. By day 3, the internet had turned the Harris family drama into a digital soap opera, and the season finale hadn't even aired yet. Everyone wanted answers. Was King telling the truth? Was T.I. really silent because he was guilty, or because he was tired of defending himself to a son who lived for chaos? Either way, the streets of Atlanta were buzzing louder than a trap beat at 2 a.m. The mystery dad rumors were spiraling out of control. Fans had found the man's old music credits, his high school photos, even his LinkedIn page. One viral tweet read, "This man got more proof of being King's father than T.I. got of being innocent." The poor guy had to turn off his comments. But by that time, it was too late. The public had already written its own script. Meanwhile, T.I. was seen out in Atlanta for the first time since the scandal broke. Paparazzi footage showed him leaving a restaurant, jaw clenched, hoodie up, refusing to speak. One fan yelled, "Is King really yours, Tip?" And T.I. just smirked. No words, just that cold smirk that could mean anything from "you'll see soon" to "keep playing with me." And that's when fans realized silence wasn't weakness. Silence was strategy. By now, T.I.'s team was reportedly meeting behind closed doors. One insider claimed he'd been advised to wait until the noise dies down before addressing it. Others said he wanted to confront King privately before going public. Either way, the clock was ticking, and the internet doesn't have patience. Tiny, on the other hand, was cracking. She went live one night, voice shaking, saying, "People will say anything when they hurt. We love our son no matter what." The live barely lasted 5 minutes, but it sent shockwaves, because while she didn't confirm anything, she also didn't deny everything. That kind of half-answer is blood in the water for gossip sharks. Immediately, blogs ran with headlines like, "Tiny admits King's claims come from real pain." One even claimed she was emotionally drained from protecting the truth. The fans went wild. Protecting the truth? What truth, Tiny? And then, like a movie plot twist, King himself jumped back online. He didn't go live this time. He just dropped a post, a black screen with white text that read, "The truth don't need to be spoken, it exposes itself." Within minutes, the post racked up hundreds of thousands of likes. Fans flooded the comments with, "We believe you, King!" While critics mocked, "Boy, go do a DNA test, not poetry." But the more people doubted him, the more confident he seemed. He started posting cryptic rap lyrics like, "Bloodline fake, love counterfeit, I'm the only real one they scared to admit." Everyone could tell. This wasn't a phase. This was a statement. Meanwhile, 50 Cent, never one to miss a good feud, fanned the flames again. He posted an edited clip of T.I. rapping "What You Know About That" with the caption, "Apparently not your kid." The post got millions of views in hours. Other rappers started quietly reacting too. Boosie tweeted, "Family ain't always blood. Sometimes blood don't make you real." Young Joke went on his radio show saying, "This right here, this what happened when fame raised your kids instead of fathers." Everyone had an opinion, and all of them stung. By week's end, the Harris brand was unraveling. Business deals were being delayed, and producers were whispering that Family Hustle reruns might quietly vanish from certain networks. Nobody wanted to touch a potential PR grenade, but through all the noise, something unexpected started happening. Fans who had mocked King in the beginning were starting to sympathize with him. They said he wasn't clout chasing. He was breaking generational silence. "Y'all think he wildin'," one user wrote, "but maybe he's the only one telling the truth in that family." And that shift, that's what scared people the most. Because now, it wasn't just about DNA, it was about truth versus image. Then came the emotional curveball. A clip leaked from an alleged private call between King and a close friend. In it, King said, "It ain't about who my dad is, it's about who was there when I needed one." That line hit like a gut punch. It painted the whole situation in a different light. Maybe this wasn't about science. Maybe it was about scars. Within hours, that quote was everywhere. Memes, reels, tweets, all using the same phrase. "Who was there when I needed one?" Even mainstream outlets picked it up. CNN's entertainment segment mentioned it. Complex wrote an op-ed titled "King Harris and the Price of Growing Up in the Public Eye." Suddenly, the same boy everyone mocked for being spoiled became a symbol of broken celebrity childhoods. But in Atlanta, behind the cameras, sources said the tension was unbearable. T.I. was furious. Not because of the rumor, but because of the betrayal. "That's still my son," he allegedly told a friend, "but he's out here acting like the internet gon' raise him." That quote hit the blogs too, of course. The internet turned it into another meme. T.I. sitting on a throne with the caption, "Fatherhood Expeditiously, the remix." Still, he didn't officially respond, but he did unfollow King on Instagram. And that single action made the internet lose its collective mind. Fans called it the digital DNA test. When you unfollow your son, you basically saying the lab results came back negative. Even though both sides were quiet, their social media movement said everything. Tiny still followed both, liking posts about family healing. King kept dropping cryptic bars. And T.I., he switched his bio to one sentence: "The truth needs no audience." By this point, it was beyond repair. The internet had fully taken over the narrative. Podcasters were hosting multi-part breakdowns. YouTubers were editing 10-minute timelines of betrayal. Reaction channels were milking views like it was gold. Fans were split. Some demanded peace, others begged for a DNA reveal. One trending petition even joked, "Bring Maury to Atlanta for one last episode." And the craziest part? Ratings and streams for all three of them skyrocketed. King's music got a 200% spike. T.I.'s old songs trended again. Even Tiny's old reality clips resurfaced like they were brand new episodes. Whether intentional or accidental, this family feud had become a cultural phenomenon. By the end of the week, one thing was clear: there was no going back. The Harris legacy had cracked, and no PR speech could glue it together. Because even if T.I. eventually clears his name, the belief was already broken. The internet doesn't care about DNA tests. It cares about drama. And King Harris had just given them the ultimate saga: fame, betrayal, silence, and pain, all wrapped in one viral confession. And somewhere, in the quiet corners of Atlanta, the King of the South was realizing that his own throne wasn't being threatened by rivals in the rap game, but by his very own blood. And there you have it. The Harris Empire just went from family hustle to family scandal, faster than a diss. Track drops after an awards show. What started as one shocking live turned into a digital manhunt, a DNA debate, and a lesson in how one post can flip an entire legacy upside down. King Harris didn't just question his roots, he made the whole internet question truth itself. So now the question is, who do you believe? The son who's crying out for the truth, or the father who's letting silence speak louder than any statement ever could? Either way, this story proves that fame doesn't protect you from family drama, it just gives the world front row seats. And let's be honest, this scandal had more twists than a Netflix docuseries and more tension than a reunion episode of Love A. Hip-hop! The Harris name may never be the same again. But one thing's for sure, the truth always finds a way out, even when it's buried deep in DNA and pride. So before you go, do what you already know you should have done 5 minutes ago. Smash that like button like it owes you money, drop your wildest theory in the comments, and hit subscribe so you never miss the next jaw-dropping expose. Because over here, we don't just report the mess, like we live in it, dissect it, and serve it fresh every day. Stay tuned, stay suspicious, and remember, in the world of fame, every smile hides a scandal, and every silence screams louder than words. This is Celeb Aura, where the truth glows under the spotlight. And the secrets, oh, they always find their shine.